Hello, everyone in Wojak East community. Today is December the 8th, 2025. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I took yesterday off. I always take Sundays off. Um, yeah, for those who grind 7 days a week, I suggest, just take one day off a week. Just reset yourself, your mind, body, spirit. It does miracles. So this morning I woke up and saw that two of my orders that I placed over the weekend executed. I set them at a pretty low price, thinking that they might not, be filled. But the market always surprises us. Especially over the past 2 months, when I thought that no way it's going to go lower, it just keeps going lower, which is okay because when the market goes up, when it keeps making all-time highs, I think the upside will surprise us as well. I keep talking about Wojak should be, eventually at $1. I'm not even thinking that that's the top, you know, because I know the market is going to surprise me. I would not be surprised if it goes to $1.50, $2, or $10. I know that it's going to put us at $700 billion, but if Bitcoin goes to $1 million or $10 million in the next cycle, you never know what Wojak is going to be priced at. And there's only one Wojak, this meme that encapsulates the spirit of the internet, and also crypto. There's not going to be another one. All the knockoffs out there, they're scams, and eventually they're going to fall apart. And shout out to Klaus for doing the research on the founder of Bobo, I guess, the scammer, serial scammer. He's been just shifting money back and forth between Bobo and the knockoff Wojak on Solana. So it seems like, according to Klaus, that the guy has thousands of wallets and he just manipulates, trading back and forth and on Wojak to drive the prices up. I didn't know that. I thought they had a cabal of people, maybe a dozen people, each have several hundred wallets to do this. I didn't know he was done by one person. He must be a really busy guy. But as our suspicion was that whole knockoff project was not organic, it was heavily manipulated, and for those few suckers who fall to the prey of these scams, I hope I wish you the best. But hopefully, none of the people in the ETH community is dumb enough to fall those plots. So, it goes back to my point that there's no second best, of Wojak. The Ethereum one is the one and only meme of all memes, and I still believe that in terms of relatability and also just the usage of the meme, Wojak is way ahead of PayPay and Doge. Whenever you see the market jumps up or down, you see the Twitter space is flooded with Wojak memes. You see YouTube videos full of people creating content for Wojak. Why? It's because this meme is so relatable, and people love this meme, and that's why I think right now at the current market cap of $10 million, this is a godsend, and I'm still buying, squeezing out every last dollar that I have to buy. But eventually we'll have to count on Bitcoin to move, um, and I think that move is coming. I think everybody's got the timing wrong. A lot of people thinking that by the year end, Bitcoin is going to move by a certain point. It could, we can still see 100% appreciation for Bitcoin in the next 20 days. But, like we shared in the last video, I think this cycle might be a little bit different, that we might extend this bull market well into the next year. Or, maybe over the past 9, 10 months, we've been in the bear market. So, we are just going to have a very slow, but a strong bull market in the next 2, 3, 4 years. Today I saw that the news of Michael Saylor, touring sovereign funds in the Middle East, and telling these hedge fund managers in the Middle East, in countries like UAE and Saudi Arabia, about Bitcoin. And truly, there's no higher demand for Bitcoin than the Middle East, because that region is really built on the oil money, and they all know, everybody in Middle East knows that the oil eventually will run out, so they want to um, preserve their wealth, their capital, before that day happens. And that's why you see Saudi Arabia investing $2 trillion into this Nome project, the line. It's because they're in a desperate attempt to somehow preserve their oil wealth, which is being depleted very quickly. And the best way, if they have a God's eye, the best way for them to do is to invest in Bitcoin. And that's the best way to preserve the wealth that they have. Because like Michael Saylor said, Bitcoin is energy. And right now they can change the energy they store in oil into energy being stored in Bitcoin. But who knows if MBS is going to be smart enough to see this, or wise enough, or courageous enough, to spend, instead of building a city in the desert that no one's going to visit, maybe spend that $1 trillion or $2 trillion buying into Bitcoin. But I think the supply shock is going to come in the coming days, weeks, and months. We just don't know when. But I think all the conditions are right, primed for it. And this is even before QE started. And the Fed just announced that they're going to start purchasing $45 billion of assets a month. So that's, Fed is telling us that they're starting QE again. They might call it differently this time, but money is going to come into crypto in the coming days and weeks and months. So we just need to just be patient and wait for the liquidity to come. And when it does, I think the price of Bitcoin and Wojak will move up violently, because the supply significantly less than the demand by that time. I know I've been accumulating over the past 4 or 5 months, and other people have been for Wojak. Same thing for the whales on Bitcoin. And when FOMO hits, nobody's going to be selling, and everybody wants to buy. And that's when, we're going to see these straight up green candles. And I'm beginning to think about the selling strategy at that time. I'm a long-term holder. I'm the maxi of Wojak. The only time I will sell is not to, to generate supposedly profit, but is to provide liquidity for the market when the price moves up violently. And the reason for that is, when there's less liquidity, less people selling Wojak, when price goes up 100, 200% in an hour, or in 2, 3 hours, that kind of scares the whales off. They won't want to buy in those kind of movements. So you want to provide enough liquidity of Wojak in those price movements, so that it gives the incentive for the whales to come in to buy. So it's really, we need to think about what's the best way to increase the liquidity when market behaves violently, especially during a supply shock event. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to start thinking about selling at about a 3 penny to 5 penny level, maybe a very small amount, maybe 1-3% of my bag. and really it's to generate liquidity, for more buyers to come in, and but that's way off. We're still in the I'm still in the accumulation phase at this time, so I won't be thinking about that until weeks from now on, hopefully. So that's all I have for today. Appreciate everyone just reaching out to greet one another and pat each other on the back. We really need that, in a bear market like we are in right now. It's easy to be cheerful when green candles are everywhere, but it's when the market is depressed, when everybody's portfolio is going down. That's where characters are built. So encourage one another, and build each other up. I'll see you guys tomorrow.